My name is Brooks Onishi. I'm a senior loan officer with Loan Depot Hawaii, and I've got Kenji here today.
How you doing, Brooks?
Doing pretty good.
It's a good first meeting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like we found each other. You kind of reached out online, and I know we want to dig into that.
Yeah.
That unravels a whole new conversation. But
It's a rabbit hole.
my name's Kenji Lee. I am a quote unquote video guy, although what I do, really, there's a lot more to it. And part of EXP Realty, and we can dig into how video, online presence, all of that marketing stuff.
Yeah.
But here we are. I think the way we connected was more of a Hawaii thing.
It was a passion thing for sure.
It was you probably know that guy who's friends with that guy type of thing.
What school you went to?
Campbell.
See?
First thing, Oak Tree Campbell.
Yeah, what school? Oh, college? No, high school. That's how you know you're from Hawaii, because you say what school, and
Right
I went
away.
high school. Yeah.
Where you went?
I went all over.
Okay.
I went Big Island from St. Louis Intermediate. I went to Big Island, Honoka'a.
Okay.
And then I came back a little while. But I spent most of my high school career on the Big Island. And that's where I think I learned the most. There was the most impact of firsts and intensity. And so in my mind, that's a lot of where I'm from. So when people ask me that, it's like Big Island's the first thing that comes out of my mouth.
Well, those are super formative years as a young adult.
Yeah.
Compared to,
I didn't realize it at the time, though,
Yeah.
So.
Well, how would you say Oahu was different from Big Island as far as a teenager growing up?
Good question. So here at the time, it was like that, the era of gangster rap that was so cool.
Yeah.
I was still catching the bus. I lived in Aiea, and I would catch the bus from there to St. Louis.
Okay.
Right? The 54 to the number 1, and then back. So, and then the bus stop, I'd actually have to walk a mile to my house. So it's 2 miles a day, and then basically 2 hours of travel.
Wow.
But that's another rabbit hole, because that really laid the foundation for my success today. Big difference. So you go from private school to Honoka'a. I actually think at the time it might have had the highest pregnancy rate in the state.
Really?
Yeah. It's a small school. There wasn't a lot to do. It's very slow, right? The pace of life is slow. It was a culture shock for me, but I kind of enjoy slow pace and just kind of chill, cruise. It's always been kind of my demeanor, and so it fit. It was a real country feel, and there were actually cowboys in school, and it's the first time I went to school with cowboys.
Oh, not the old school. For me, born and raised Oahu.
Yeah.
West Side, Kapolei. Shout out to anybody who knows where Honokai Hale is. That's where I grew up.
Yeah.
And when I would visit, I remember we went Big Island for a science field trip. We all built these solar cars, and then we're racing it at this new high school that was built Kona side, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in my young, I don't know where I'm going kind of
Yep.
phase. It was somewhere on the Big Island, Kona side, new high school, and we're all racing our solar cars. And I remember my impression at that time was, this is a completely different environment.
World.
Oh, not just seeing the lava rock, that's obvious.
Yeah, it is.
But you feel this scale, I think. The scale, from the mountaintop to the ocean, already that's different.
Yeah.
Than Oahu.
It is so, yeah.
And then the students at that school, it felt a little bit more in high school, everyone's real sensitive to cliques.
Yeah.
Groups.
Yeah.
Over there, it almost felt easier to jump in their group.
Yeah.
A little bit easier than how I see people. We would transfer from Radford or something and come to campus.
There wasn't such a wall between them.
Yeah.
They're still family, they're still close. They're small towns, so they grew up together, and you don't.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, they grew up together. So, and
that's.
It was different. That was a different story, different time. My parents graduated from IAL though, so it was. IAL was kind of home, My dad, my mom, my grandparents were still there. They still have homes there, so But that's also a different place than it used to be. It's,
I mean,
you know,
what's the same anymore now
yeah,
on these islands?
on the islands, yeah. Um, so let's talk about how we got here.
Please.
Yeah.
How, from my perspective, I could share that, but I'd like to hear yours too.
Well, I will. I won't go too far on that one because I might not make it back in time for you to share. Um, it's really, for me, there's been a lot of emotion, a lot of weight, a lot of electricity. I feel like it's been building and it finally erupted. Um, I don't even know how else to put it. Uh, and I can't stop it. I don't want to stop it
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
But so I'm on a surfboard and I'm riding it, and it's a lot of it has to do with social media, right? That's the conduit. Um, it's also important for our industries, um, and it's like the forefront. It's like the way of life right now. It's digital. Everything's electronic. The Internet of Things, and so I've been hesitant up until this point to get myself in front of the camera and talk. I mean, who wants to hear something that I have to say? I don't know. Why would they want to listen to me? I'm nobody, Um, and I'm just like everybody else. I got all my own insecurities, but I realized that I can't let that stop me from doing the thing that gives me most gratification, edification. Like it feeds my soul, and at the core of that is being of service and helping others. It's really, I think everybody that knows me or gets to know me really quick. I mean, I got people like Kay.
Yeah,
That was just over the phone.
yeah,
I had reached out to somebody because he did something cool, Kayla,
yeah.
that coincidentally you're helping him film with. And the way I'm networking is I am just not aimlessly adding people, but strategically adding the ones that are connected to something that drew me in, something that they're passionate about that I'm on the same level, or something they're passionate about that I didn't know about till I saw them or they brought it up, and then you know what? Okay, I'm going that way, and I don't know if this is controversial or not, but I feel like I got ADHD, right? That was kind of the time when it became the most popular, and then everybody's got it. It's kind of like colic.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'm constantly doing stuff. I'm constantly trying things. I'm constantly inventing things. I've got little side businesses where I sell stuff online through Instagram. Is my,
Okay.
that's my platform of advertising. And but so that's where I'm looking, and I found all these people I've wanted to invest for a long time. So I'm following all these people that they're local people. They live here. They work here. They want to stay here. Their families are here, and I see myself getting excited at that, right? So if that's exciting me, what is that doing for everybody else? Yeah.
Yes.
What is that excitement inciting?
Mm. Okay.
And that's what's got me shook. Like it's there we go again. Chicken skin. Yeah. I think, and so based on that platform, based on my industry, I do loans, right?
Mhm.
Um, online applications, and we're doing Zoom meetings, and so we're already in the world of just video content, sound. It's just digital. So that's what I did. Is I'm building my network. I'm following these people, but I'm also interacting with them, and I'm taking action, which is apparently one of the biggest things that a lot of people aren't doing. Because I've gotten complimented by just the investors alone, the people that I respect and I'm looking up to and asking questions. They're telling me like, you're following through, and you have no idea how many calls we get from people that want to ask questions, do this, and they don't follow through. And being a man of my word has been a big thing. So I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be a man of my word, and I'm trying to be of service. So
Wow. To hear your perspective on how we came to literally this day, us meeting for the first time and everything, a lot of it mirrors my my sort of North Star.
Yeah.
It's real fresh in my mind because my mom just got us, my whole family. My mom, shout out to all the moms out there. I was raised by a single mother, me and my older brother.
Myself too.
Hey, so
Yep.
the biggest support you can get, the most crucial time of the nurturing process of who you are, what excites you, all this stuff.
Yep.
The root is the mom.
Yep.
For me and my brother, right?
It is. Yeah.
And one recent way she's nurtured me, she still continues to in my adulthood, and now I'm a parent too. She gifted us Bishop Museum like season pass. I don't know if you call it season pass. Annual pass. And so we went again, and I've only been there in the last 4 or 5 times. I used to do weddings a lot too. So so that's part of my like video journey. But we went, and it was like the first time since I can remember I haven't been there for an event, and I could just kind of enjoy the museum, the exhibitions, and you know the Hawaiian, that part, right? Yep. We went there, we did the planetarium, and like the planetarium, we sit back, and so the stars, real recent for me right now. And so just learning more about the stars. I like to fish at night. I fish at night a lot, so I'm already looking at the night sky in Hawaii, but that kind of added on to this layer of the idea of what's deep and like what's deeply rooted in something. And I feel like we're tapping into something that's been happening for so long. Yeah. And this blip of time that we are alive, like we're just stewards carrying the torch. And so that feeling got reignited by just sitting in the planetarium, learning about navigating through the stars. And so like I thought, what's my North Star being born and raised on this island too? Mm-hmm. Albeit not ethnically Hawaiian, but I was born and raised on this very specific part of the island. And so, I'm just making it relevant to me. What's my North Star? And part of it is what you just kind of said of like, what excites me? Mm-hmm. What do I feel not pushed to do, but pulled into? Mm-hmm. That even if I didn't try to,
it's not
I would be doing.
Yeah, it's not about fun. It's more. It's deeper than that. It's about passion. It's
a pull push. Yeah, the money is something that drove a lot of my earlier video days. Right. There's the money, there's a bag, there I'm going kind of thing, which is a necessity. And I think a lot of
the learning curve though. Yeah.
And then it kind of evolves to this point where you can run or you can create something that people run to. Mm-hmm. Right now you're creating something people run to, feel drawn into, feel excited by, because you yourself as a creator of this thing created it in that same space. Yeah. So I like to do this thing with Kealoha, for example. Yeah. That we just naturally, over the many, many, many years we've been knowing each other, been brothers basically, it just came to a tipping point where both of us in our respective journeys just, what the results that happen in that world are very unusual to gain that kind of traction in that kind of amount of time.
Exactly.
But it's not the overnight success over years kind of thing, because we've been on our separate journeys following that. What excites me, that I feel drawn to,
growing and learning,
and let me just keep investing my hours, my waking hours into this thing, and then it blooms. There's a bloom moment, and I feel like whenever you just bloom publicly, that will naturally draw people in to whatever it is you're doing. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of how we connected, you know what I'm saying?
It is. I think you'll get more views on something that's positive in a powerful way than you will in something that's negative in a powerful way.
It's just weird. No one knows, right? Yeah. We don't know. There's no answer. There's so many strategies. There's so many gurus. There's so many channels. There's so many examples. There's so many, what do you call them? Outliers, exceptions, that really it's just this, back to the stars. It's just this infinite path of possibilities, and just to participate in it is to win. Yeah. And you find out by actually showing up and participating, not thinking or not stopping.
Not just daydreaming.
Do it. Yeah. And then do it again and do it again. And then more people connect, more people see it. And if you're just working publicly, which is how I kind of, my recent, ask me in 2 years, it might be different. Yeah. But my lens on the whole digital platforms, digital world is I just work in public versus I'm presenting. And that
you
kind of
presenting means you're on the other side of it.
presenting kind of has this nuance to it, like, okay, ready, like prepared,
Mm-hmm.
like a pocketed, like I prepared this speech, like sales. I mean, we both, we're in the sales world.
I would say I'm not a salesperson though. Like I don't want to sell it. I want to provide
Okay.
value. If you're gonna do it, you might as well do it with me. Who would you rather hang out with?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So it's more like maybe you could say education.
Yeah.
Information. But you're doing it publicly. You're doing it sort of, I would say, not the word real and authentic is kind of over.
No, because there's intention here. That's why. So it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's not.
Like even how you're reaching out, you're saying.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe it's intentional organic, like intentionally being organic.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Where your intention is there, you have the platforms and the means to reach out to whoever you choose, just like we all do.
Yeah, we do.
Right? And then, but you show up. And that's the part that a lot of people fall off. I think just reps, just doing reps alone is the biggest, that's the biggest, that is my best partner in business because most competition falls off.
Yep.
When it comes to who did more reps.
Yeah.
Like your post today. Was it today? The weeks, your life in weeks.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about getting that poster too.
I got you.
I know that.
Yeah.
Because I love that perspective on it.
It blew me away. I saw it on Facebook.
See?
Or no, Instagram. I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it blew me away. I looked at that and I was like,
Yeah.
and then coincidentally, I just turned 44 and it says there's two options. There's an 88 or there's 100. But then like my grandfather passed away not that long ago, but that's where they're at. Nobody's broken 88 recently. So for me, if I make it to 88, I'm lucky, right? Or blessed, same thing. They're interchangeable in my vocabulary.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of time left. If I can use that first 44 as a learning experience, and I can use the back end as maybe 80% action, and I still got 20% learn, or maybe it's the inverse. I don't know, but they're still learning, right? Then I will not have wasted it.
Yeah. Perspective. Sorry, again, back to the stars.
Yeah.
It really humbles you as to, like the ego-driven business is one thing.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm not discounting that as a means of getting results because we see it get results.
It does.
But when you think about your significance or your time, in the perspective what we're talking about, like weeks.
Yeah.
You start your value. You really treat your minutes and days, hours, even if it's just that 3 minutes to just have eye contact with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Those things, now I feel like it does a service to you as someone who's like, let's say you're in that creative, like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to post.
Yep. Been there.
Just humble yourself and think, no one cares. No one cares. And in fact, people swipe past you before the thing you spend 5 hours on to post is getting swiped on. Just so might as well spend 5 minutes and get it out there. And then just do that 10 times.
That was a swipe left you threw there.
You know what I mean? Is that a Tinder thing? See, I'm so old.
Dude,
I passed that whole like online dating thing, like, but I get it.
Yeah. It's the information is so available that everybody just like, I think they de-appreciate. Is that proper? I don't know. It's unappreciated where we came from. It's like,
well,
remembering somebody's phone number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get to EXP.
Okay.
So we talked about this a little bit before, and are you a realtor? How did you get under the EXP umbrella? Tell me about that. And, most of my world is in the real estate mortgage industry. So we're going to connect that with the passion. And the crazy part about it, right, that we're talking about is this isn't even how we connected. This isn't why or what. And we talked and you said, hey, I actually am.
Yeah. Well, if you search my digital footprint, it wouldn't be obvious that I'm a licensed real estate agent. But if you look deeper and you do your due diligence, you'll figure it out. What my entry into the real estate world is well, it was basically through video. And so I teamed up with a high school fellow Campbell graduate. Shout out to Derek. We both graduated from Campbell. He's 1 year older than me, so I'm 03, he's 02. Again, kind of like we both go on our own path, right? That then come to this certain point where, boom, that happens, right? And that point of us, he went this way in the world, I went that way in the world, came back. It was 2021. And then, so it's video guy, real estate guy, YouTube channel.
Okay.
And so we started doing YouTube real estate. Me being the video guy, him being the real estate guy.
Okay.
And we just did that over and over and over, showing up over and over and over and over again. And now we're not the first one to do it. We're not the last one to do it.
Right.
We just kept doing it.
Consistent.
And so there are other real estate YouTube channels out there in every single market.
Yeah.
Right. We're just one of those. But we started to see actual traction, actual deals, actual
results.
The results that we didn't marry ourselves to a timeline or some lofty goals or anything. It was just showing up, right? Week by week by week. So we'd show up. It was Wednesdays, actually. It changed now, right?
Yeah.
But every Wednesday we'd meet up, boom, we'd shoot some content. I'd have it up by Sunday over and over again. Fast forward to 2 something years later. Now the team has grown to the point of how effective online media marketing is. Like the team has grown.
Yeah.
Right. The team has grown. I'm not just a video guy. I'm a licensed real estate agent on the team. But my skill, my input is such that
your contribution to that
my
team.
contribution is like this kind of thing.
Yeah.
We built out our own studios. Well, same space but different shooting points in there.
Yeah.
Because we just want to keep adding to what we know works.
Yeah.
Which is not just a YouTube channel, but could be YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And then other forms of video.
Kind of like that Joe Rogan. He's got his full podcast and he's got his Jerry clips.
Yeah, there's so many.
It's the same thing, but broken up. And some people have a short attention span. Some people have long ones.
The multi-purpose approach to video. So the same files that come out of these cameras shouldn't live in one place in one format.
Yeah.
It could live on every platform in every format. And it's just getting more juice out of the squeeze right here. Yeah. Which is, it's like an efficiency hack.
Yes, exactly.
And this format is perfect for it because now we're doing a long piece, but you can get medium shorts and it can go everywhere. It can be audio, it can be video, audio. So all of this, I think, is becoming more commonplace now. But it started, I can't even point to a time on the calendar and be like, this is when it started. But
kind of like an era, a time.
And I think, like everything, just like hip hop. You grew up, like we grew up on old school hip hop. Hip hop's not the same today as it was.
No.
That we know.
No.
I'm sure video won't
that
be
definitely went downhill.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It just morphed.
My opinion, sorry.
It morphed, it changed, right?
It's different.
And we can expect the same thing in this format, in this media. So right now, while it's relevant, that is even more reason to squeeze more like multi-purpose every piece even more, because this is, to me, I look at it like a ticking time bomb. Like these cameras, these mirrorless cameras, this is all got a lifeline on. Like these mics, it's all gonna be. We look at it like the CD player.
It'll be obsolete at one point. Yeah.
So, and it'll be faster though.
Yeah.
It'll be way faster. So, do it as much as you can right now.
So you follow along with the trend. Staying relevant.
You have to do more reps, I feel.
Yeah.
And a format like this helps. And as it pertains to real estate, really, some people, the way I see it, keep in mind, I'm very biased.
Yep, we all.
I'm the video guy who came into the real estate world through YouTube and then all of this stuff. So when I look at other videos, other real estate videos, channels, Instagrams, whatever, I always ask, okay, who's this for? Who's the audience?
Yeah.
And you can way to break that down is, what answers are you providing? Who wants that answer? That's your audience. Okay. Oh, you're not even giving answers. You're just boasting, which we see a lot of.
Yeah.
I don't care about the car you drive or what you're drinking at what restaurant. I care about, how do I get my car to Hawaii or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can kind of deconstruct what's out there, get your sort of thumb on the pulse of what's happening, and then what to then put in there, how you're going to participate in that.
Yeah.
And
your role in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you just, consuming is as important as creating.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you've done a lot of consuming, right?
Oh yeah, look.
No, he did. Shots fired.
Yeah.
No.
It's that darn rice and mac salad, I tell you.
Call up.
Oh.
Highway in.
We're gonna eat lunch after this.
You know what I mean? Like, consume, but do it intentionally.
Yeah.
And then that can kind of guide you what you want to put out there. And we found a lot of success in answering questions that people have about moving to Hawaii, which is the name of the YouTube channel, Moving to Hawaii.
Moving to Hawaii.
And then that kind of guide, that's the North Star in that world.
Yeah.
How can we provide the most value to someone asking these questions on Google, on YouTube?
Yeah.
And we just, and then it's just reps.
And consistent. Just keep doing it. Rinse and repeat.
I don't think there's so much value, and this is coming from the video guy. Like, I have toned down, like, just like there's sliders here.
Yeah. There's
a lot of sliders in the video, and I've recently pulled back the slider on, let's say, polished, nice, cinematic stuff. And I come from, like, the last 5 years was like me doing weddings, so it had to be, that slider was all the way up.
Yeah.
Cinematic.
Yeah.
Color gradient, perfect cuts, all of that. I've slid that way down, and what I put up is just straight up educational value, answering questions, consistency, other things that for this realm of YouTube real estate and just video, it gives you more chance to have that impact with who needs it.
Yeah. Because
it looks nice, great. But again, you're competing with so much.
Yeah, we're on the same page. What I am really looking forward to doing is providing value. And I think I'm fortunate because having gone from Oahu to the Big Island, there's a huge difference in the cultures, like mini cultures, subculture. We're all local people, right? If you live here, you work here, you take care of where you live, you're local. That's it. You love it. That's it. It doesn't matter Hawaiian, Japanese, Chinese. It's just, you live here, we're going to live together, and we're all local, right? So, but yet, majority of the local population is struggling. On the way here, I got a call from our main office, and it was a guy on Maui. The call center girl talked to him, said, "Oh, I'm going to transfer you somebody in Hawaii." The whole conversation while I'm driving here was about him telling me, "I don't know why I'm on the call. I can't afford it. It's too expensive for local people." Oh. That's the first call I've gotten, and I've done this for years, right? But that's the first call I gotten that was it was depressing. Like, it was sad, but it's the truth. We all know already. Right?
Yeah.
We all know somebody that moved to Vegas.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So, and I think when you boil it down, why are local people or anybody in that category and where they feel like they're struggling, they're suffering, why are they there? What's missing? What did I get? I'm not struggling. I struggle in areas of my life. I think we all do, but I'm not struggling as much as some other people are. How did I get so fortunate? What did I get that they didn't? Excuse me. And as getting emotional. As I get older and I start to learn about things that really touch my heart and that are important to me, I realize that my mom paid for a good education. I went to private school. So when I went to the Big Island, I was actually like 2 years ahead because the education at the public school was that different on another level, you know?
Yeah.
So that in itself adds to the difference of the culture of where you're at too, right? But in that stillness over there on the Big Island, I learned to be a little more reflective and to appreciate things on a smaller level, which is like a micro level. And there's a lot to be learned there as well. Having figured out it's about education, I got an education, right? Now let's take that even further. Not even talking about school, at home. My mom taught me what she knew. What she wasn't teaching me, she was showing me. So she was still teaching me whether she knew it or not. So by example, I learned how to be a realtor. My grandmother's a realtor. My mom's a realtor. I saw her go from working at Stuart Anderson's in Pro City.
Yeah.
That brown bread is so ono.
Yeah, I remember that.
And going from that to getting her license, working in my grandmother's office. She's taking care of, you know, a lot of the admin stuff. And then that's when they had the first computers come out. There was an MS-DOS, I think it was. And I saw her transition through that. Not thinking, oh, I want to be a realtor when I grow up.
So you're just watching, observing.
It's osmosis. And
Yeah.
on the weekends, my grandparents did property management, right? Because that's the consistent base right there. I learned how to read a map book. I could barely see over the dashboard, but I could read a map book and tell my grandma where to go or whatever. But that was the thing. The family always worked, right? Now, I think there's stereotypes for ethnicities and whatnot. So my family, they're really good they excel at the business, at making a living. And a lot of people know my mom, and her last name is Onishi. It's kind of like they see my last name, like, oh, tell your mom I said hi, you know? It's that small of a community as well. So, and I was just thinking about this the other day. I was like, I got my survival skills and how to make a living from my mom. I didn't realize that, and I never really thanked her for that. So thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. And that's something that a lot of local people don't get. Right?
You think more so than, I don't know if you grew up somewhere else, like, because I think there's a lot of single mothers,
Yes.
period. But when you put it in this Hawaii setting where, as we all know, this phone call you had, right? Like, it's a steeper hill.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Well, there's a little bit of a deeper wound there, right? And I get that, and that's that's another part of my journey too, is just getting older and tapping into my roots and learning what it means to be Hawaiian. Like, I already know deep in my heart I'm Hawaiian. I feel that it's full of aloha, and it's just. At one time I was working at Costco, and the people used to come through my line on a regular basis, and they call me Mr. Aloha. I was happy. Life's good, you know. Yeah. And tapping back into that, doing everything, I guess, moving the pieces around so that I get back to that state is kind of what I'm trying to do. And that's making other people smile, taking some relief, giving them relief. I mean, that makes me feel good.
Do you think it's through education? Like, how big of education played a role for you? Like, do you see yourself now as that I want to educate?
Yeah.
And through education, I can empower, or?
Yes, of course. Maybe not as, like, I don't want to be a teacher per se directly, but I want to be a connector. Yeah. I want to be able to, if I don't know it, I know somebody who does. Yeah, because the saying is it takes a village. It really does.
Sure does.
Yeah.
I know single parent, like, I know all your neighbors watched you. You know your neighbors.
My grandmother watched me. Yeah.
You know,
yeah, it was, we're multi-generational.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah. It takes a village.
But multi-generational means we learned what they learned. They didn't learn this stuff either. Financial literacy is really at the core of what I want to share and what I want to educate people on, or what I want to connect them to, all the resources out there. And I'm finding out there's a lot of resources, and those the gatekeepers of that are looking for more efficient ways to get that out there.
So what kind of things have you Is your mom still with us?
Yep. Yep.
Do you two maybe, or
Her mom, my grandmother's still alive.
so? Do you see yourself now, like in your 40s? Are you sort of? It feels weird to say, but are you teaching them? Are you teaching your mom stuff? Are you teaching your tutu stuff that you've learned now as this 40-year-old son,
Yeah.
grandson?
Yes.
Is it, and how does that, not just the digital stuff, like this is how you post,
Nope.
which
Yeah.
I'm sure we
it's
do.
beyond that. Yeah.
I'm sure
I
we
get the
do.
calls, right? Can you set up my account for me? And
Right.
right.
How to airdrop, like there's, but then there's the deeper.
Yeah. There's another level to it. There's layers. Yeah. So yes, and that goes back to my investment, like my passion to want to invest, to want to build something, to add value to it, right? Um, that's it. Like add value here, add value there. Like if I add value to you, you add value to me. We all elevate, right? So, and my mom, she knows. I know that I do teach her things, and she still teaches me things, and it's not being boastful,
Yeah.
or
It just sounds weird. Like, I taught you, mom. But
yeah.
like,
Well, the teacher becomes the student, right? And it's
yeah.
but how could she have learned how to be a mother without the son?
Facts.
It's
Yeah.
it's symbiotic.
You know what? I went to school in Portland, Oregon. So when I graduated, I went to Oregon for 5 years, and then I went to Japan for 8, then came back here. So like I did the voyage
Yeah.
in an airplane, but I did that Pacific voyage. And so when I was in Oregon, this guy, he said something that just stuck with me, and it was like, on my birthday, I give my mom something because she gave birth to me. And so like
She gave you life.
he was like, why do we celebrate? It's me. And like I did nothing. He's like, she did all the work on that day. Now being a parent and witnessing the births of two of our daughters, we got the easy, but especially men,
Yeah.
as far as the parent journey. But like a woman on the parent journey, the birthday, that's the day to be celebrated for them too.
Yeah.
So I like that perspective of like, it's a two-way street,
Yeah.
right? The relationship, you're not a mother if you don't have a son. You're not a son if you don't have a mother, type of thing.
Yeah.
So shout out to all the moms. I still look at ways to like help, like not even help, but like bring my mom more. Like if you ask her right now, what does Kenji do? I don't know. Like I don't know what her answer would be. You know what I mean?
Because you have a hard time explaining it to her. Like it's
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, well, so I always just condense it to, oh, I do video.
Yeah.
It's simple, but like, do I explain online marketing?
If she had the capacity for it, if she was into it, then you would,
She understands that at the base.
Yeah.
Oh, this is how you get people. This is how you get the phone to ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she came from very much the same. Like, we watched her work here in Hawaii, where it's a very steep climb for a single parent. 1.5 jobs, 2 jobs, and like just being at the neighbor's houses a lot of the time. When you get off the bus, you go to and Lumboy's house or whoever.
Yeah.
And then
because they weren't home, there was nobody home for you.
And so, I mean, now it's not like I'm at some point where I can like sit back and be like, I made it. Not at all. Especially when I look at the week calendar, right? Like,
right?
You know what I mean? If anything, I'm like, there's more fire.
I'm running out of time.
More now.
Yeah.
But in a way that I can sort of, again, the perspective changes now as a parent. Like it's summertime now when we're filming this. So my 6-year-old, she's been like coming with me to work, which looks like this, right?
Yeah.
So she'd be like over there. So I want her to see, just like I saw my mom doing what she needed to do, I like her seeing what I'm doing. And just, I'm not putting it in this nice little box for her to like comprehend. It's just absorb it. You'll probably process it differently as you go through the years. But she understands like, daddy makes videos. He talks to people. I know this uncle, that uncle, this auntie, right? And then he talks about this and that.
I think as a child, it might be even more basic. Like it's almost like a feeling she probably has about what daddy does. It's positive. He's talking to people, and it's good. It's flowing. There's not a lot of contention or difficulty. And we just talked about how I ended up becoming a realtor because I was in that environment. So might not be that far off, right?
Maybe she's the next one to do whatever kind of channel there is to make in her time.
Maybe it'll be different. Video is going to take another, leap, evolve.
The AR space has been developing for decades now. And I'm curious to see how that's going to make its ripples in real estate. Already,
I got a theory on that one.
Oh, what?
and I'll probably upset a few of you here. But what does AI stand for?
Artificial intelligence.
Okay. I think that if it can write a poem, if it can draw a picture, why can't it sell you a house? Why can't it evaluate a house? Why can't it come up with comps and analyze the data, which is already online? It can take its own pictures by sending a drone out. I've been a realtor. So 2004, I got my license. All the way to 2015, I had it. It was active. For most of the beginning part was active sales. I joined locations where my mom's a partner. Active sales, and then transitioned into property management as things moved a little slower, being younger at the time. In that market shift, property management was a safe, because I had the property management experience. Then I went to go work with grandma to try and be the one to take over the family business. I ended up meeting my ex-wife in a real estate transaction.
Okay.
So at one time, I had my mom, my grandma, and my wife all in real estate. Can you picture what Christmas was like? And so, yeah. So I like, for whatever reason, that side of the real estate it didn't do it for me. And I saw what was going on with the change of VA loans. It became really popular. It became really easy to use. And it just, at the time, my ex-wife was getting these deals, meeting military members, and it was just military members. And she's from Illinois. So it actually worked for her and the military people, because of that whole culture shock coming to Hawaii. She understood, she's from there. So it's kind of like, that's her local people, you know what I mean?
Got it.
Coming here, she can relate. And for me, it was like, here's a cause. Everybody's pushing VA, thank you for your service, and thank you for your service. And it just became almost a fad, right? But in the moment, I was able to get behind it. I know people that are in the military, have served, ultimate. But so that way, we got local people in the military. So for me, it was like, I'm still home. I'm still able to help. And I'm not racial. I'm not biased. I love everybody, literally. I love you all. So it's okay that I'm representing people that aren't necessarily full-time here. We know they're going to leave. And because on a greater scale, who would we be if we weren't American? We'd be somebody else, So that aside, we would have been something else, somewhere else. I'm not going to complain about that. I wasn't there during that part. I love it. That's where I come from. So I love learning the history of it. But moving forward is where I want to make my impact. I can't make it in the past,
What's the number one, imagine your avatar of a hater. Brooks is number one hater. What is he saying about what you do? What's his main complaint?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think,
not necessarily personally, but let's say as a loan officer then.
It would just be okay, so I feel that in the real estate industry, and especially now that, in current day rates went up, and so there's a famine, right? Now people are starving, right? And it's, I don't know where the rates are going to go right now. Everybody's got their own theories. Supposedly, they may come back down, which means that might incite Black Friday rush, which would then just fuel the fire for the prices to go up again, and we're back right where we started, right? So you never know. You can only deal with today, and I think that kind of applies in life too. But you still want to be intentional about it, so that if I get to live again tomorrow, then I carry on with what I was doing. And that's, the calendar, taking all that into consideration. I had to make a plan. I had to make a change that was more impactful. This is my career. I'm not going to make a career change. This provides me the ability to take care of my kids and make a life. And it also provides me the ability to give back, the freedom of what we do. It's kind of like I'm self-employed. I haven't had to clock in since I can remember.
No time cards for a while.
But on the same token, you're responsible for that.
Yeah.
If I don't work, I don't eat
more.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, we take it home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I go home and it's like I'm thinking about it. You're on your emails, and so the quality of life kind of diminished while the quality of business and efficiency increased. So that's where I think the separation of even the local people that are typically in the lower class is a separation of education. So everybody else is advancing, they're still staying there, right? So the education of it, I realized, is what the investment community is, what they're advertising, so to speak. They're putting it out on social media. And majority of these people they have good intention. My thing was, how do I learn from them? How do I provide value? It seems like it's a tight-knit community. And I don't want to be, I don't know. I want to be great. I want to be good. I want to be important.
Are we talking about like the tight-knit community is like the flippers in Hawaii?
Yes.
It's a tight-knit community.
It is a tight-knit community.
And so your position as the loan officer, or let's just say an investor, is what? Like,
that's two different things now.
Right.
And that was my conundrum, because I couldn't figure out how to bridge the two. I needed to bridge the two because I have to make a living, but this is what I want to do for a living. So I had to figure out how to connect the two and be relevant. And that's why, for the first time in my life, I put myself in front of a camera. And I never would have done this. I feel like I'm humble enough that I want to communicate something important and meaningful, and I think people receive it that way.
At the end of the day, I wouldn't know this is your first time in front of the camera. And that's something for anybody who has that same conversation in their head when they're in a shower and they're brushing their teeth, when they're driving, like that conversation, right? It's like, calm down. Again, I just go back. I'm an optimistic, utopian kind of guy, right? Yeah. But I always check myself, like, no one cares. And I say that in a loving way, like, you shouldn't care, really. Yeah. You shouldn't care as much. You shouldn't put as much weight on it as you should. And at the end of the day, like, someone watching this, they don't know that this is your first time. Like, everyone's first whatever, there's going to be a first. Might as well get rid of it. Get it out of the way. Yep. Just get it out there, and then to the second, third, until it
becomes natural. Everybody started at one.
Everyone's crawling, right? Yeah. Everyone's crawling. So why we look at kids and infants, and we don't have a second thought when they fall down.
Because that's where they're supposed to be, in that stage. Yeah.
And so why do we apply this sort of expectation that a newborn 2-week-old is going to walk? We do that online, though. We do that to ourselves. Yeah. And when we post, it's like, go through that.
The growing pain, the process. That. Yeah.
And so I use that as part of my North Star. And that's what everything that led to us meeting has that's all part of it. And so for you, I'm just stoked that this is something that you've been thinking about, but like you're doing it, and that your intentions, your North Star, as far as you explained it, it's going to hit, it's going to land. People are going to hear it.
I'm blown away at just the response from the minimal amount of information I put out there that this is something I'm doing. there was a picture of kuleana, who's an investor. He was sitting in that seat. In one picture, he posted it. He wrote the caption. He tagged me as a collaborator, and it spread.
Ooh, wildfire.
One post. From there, I got a friend that called me up. We used to work at Costco together, and he's like, "Hey, I got some questions for you. I work for a nonprofit that's grant funded, and specifically, we focus on educating kids 16 to 24 on financial literacy."
Bruh.
There's 2 more like that. I got
And this
3
was the
nonprofits that want to help.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, I haven't even. This is the first time we haven't even really talked about that part.
Yeah.
This is just a Vala'au session.
Yeah, right? Warm up.
Yeah.
Because that's what I
This
heard.
is scrimmage.
Yeah, there we go. The preseason.
Yeah.
Preseason, huh?
Yeah.
This is preseason.
Yeah, it says.
This is the workout. This is the gym work that you don't see before the whistle blows.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I consider everything now online. And that's bias. This is just what Kenji said. But like, when you do that, it just makes it so much easier to show up.
Yeah.
And then do it again. And then these kinds of reach outs that you weren't planning for.
No.
But it's because you built that lure that's gonna go for that one.
And I think it's because of the passion, and what it's about. It's not about me. Every investor that I've reached out to, it's kind of twofold. Yes, I want to be in that circle, but when I told them my thought, my plan, what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and when they finally, or some of them right off the bat, they can tell I'm genuine, but some of them had to watch a little bit, then they're like, we're on board.
So the goal is for you, what, NPO? To educate 16 to 24-year-old males in Hawaii, or
Nope.
How would you say what is your goal?
My goal is to move, take action, and I don't know why, but we're just talking about move, and a move is a movement, right? You keep doing more than one move, it's a movement. I'm gonna keep moving and hopefully start a movement.
Is it Hawaii, or where does Hawaii, like, is it a Hawaii focus? Because that's the root for you, or?
That's my arena, that's my environment, that's where I came from, right? That's my stomping ground. So it also who I am spiritually. I'm a Hawaiian. It's tapping into that. So this is where I want to spend my energy and my love. That's might be a blueprint for somebody else to apply that anywhere else. You know what I mean? I think love is the way, bro. Like it really is, you know, and over here it's called aloha.
Yeah.
So aloha is the answer. And so if I can aloha all these people enough that they're going to aloha somebody else, and as far as I'm concerned, I want to help them direct it to the people that need aloha, that maybe are in short supply.
Do you think, well, because given it's Hawaii,
Mm-hmm.
and just the supply of land is very limited, homes very limited,
right?
And so I feel like there's a point, because I've experienced poverty. I know people still in there.
Mm-hmm.
So poverty is first of all, if you just put in American lens, there's a line. You put in a world lens, there's different lines, right? So having witnessed poverty in different places, and then coming back to Hawaii, doing real estate, making it very, very relevant. Like, where's that line? It's an invisible line, but if you look at numbers or whatever, right? So until you reach that certain point of like, you can survive,
Mm-hmm.
that base of like food, clothing, shelter, a base where those worries are less. So you're not looking at that next rent payment. You're not making a decision in the cereal aisle based on these numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we've all been there, right?
Yeah.
So like, when you get to a certain point, you're not worried about this gas station or that gas station. You can just fill it up. You know, like you're not worried about the certain level of
security,
needs
safety,
to then build that other things like one very like good example was I was talking. So my wife is Japanese, right?
Yeah.
And so when I was talking to her dad, this is in Japan. He loves history, and he was telling me about Japan history and how a lot of people know Japan for certain art pieces, like Hokusai, for example. Um, and so he was saying, you know, art is something. It's like a privilege. I'm paraphrasing, but art's a privilege. It comes after you have like civilization. If you're a nomad, you ain't got time to be out here making pieces of art. You need to eat.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuck with me because I'm like, yeah, today there's people who just need to eat, and that occupies their whole waking hours.
Yeah.
And so once you get free from that, but like financial freedom,
you move.
Once you're like, that worry is very minimal. It's still there, but it's minimal, or you've leveraged it out somehow.
You've grown.
Then you can do the things that, like, for example, in this case, it was art.
Yeah.
But then you can do the things like that thing that puts that fire. Now you can nurture that fire.
That would be my awareness that financial literacy is my art. That's what I want to share. That's what I want to express. Mm-hmm. I actually think our real estate industry is irresponsible. They're the ones that set the prices, the movement, the velocity. It should be their kuleana to give back and make sure the homeless people have some help. That's just my feeling. I think everybody's too self-centered nowadays, and I think that's just the evolution. But I want to try and rewind that and get everybody together, and we're in the house business. They need one.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every way, like, how do we get it? How do you clean it? How do you fix it? How do you build it? Right?
You know everybody.
Yeah.
Like your phone book, I'm sure.
And so I'm asking all these people to come in and have a conversation with me. That conversation, the main point of that is, what are you doing? Is there something that you're doing that we can direct for good to perpetuate and just really just affect change, positive change? I don't know how else to put it. Like, everybody's making money, but it's like in the household, our parents take care of us. At a certain point, that role is going to reverse. We're supposed to take care of them.
Yeah.
So the ones that are fortunate are supposed to take care of the unfortunate. You know, it's their kuleana. It's just, I think it's the law of nature.
So making money from doing real estate should then kuleana back to those without homes, where we're from, right?
Yeah.
That's the hard part, is like how,
right?
Right. But if you know, like, I'm sure your phone book's deep with everyone who could pitch in.
Yeah.
So maybe that's your kuleana there, is connecting.
That's exactly it.
That way, that a vessel for everyone to throw in. Because the thing is, I feel like everyone would agree with that. Like, no one's watching this be like, nah.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, hopefully not. But if you do, then there's that hater.
There's that
one
hater.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah,
There you are. But most people are like, yeah, exactly. But how? And so
the how,
creating that this is a way, and there's other people out there doing it. But I think the sentiment that you have is shared, especially across people who call this home.
Yeah.
I think there's that. I feel it. You know what I mean?
For sure. And that's why that one picture has garnered so much support, is because everybody wants to do good. At the core, I believe everybody is good, right? Everybody's got extenuating circumstances on the outside that affect that survival skills, whatever it is. You know, sometimes we're put in a position like we got no choice. But I'm in one that I have a choice now. I have the ability to choose what I do for a living and how that affects people. If I can do something that takes care of my family and takes care of people around me, then that's what I want to do. And I just don't give up as far as connecting with people. So it just works.
This is like the seed of your.
It is.
Giving back is people hear it, they gravitate to you, the people who can actually help with the how, the hardest part.
And it seems like they're all doing it good, but they're doing it on their own. They're collaborating on the growth of the development of investing, and I want to get them together to give back, to educate, to teach, let's bring them with us.
Is it as simple as writing a check though?
No.
Right?
No, but learning how to write a check and what that means is that's a fundamental basic that is not taught in our school system. Although we don't have checks anymore, but right? Now it's like you just tap a card and
Venmo me. Here's my QR code.
Yeah.
But I mean, like.
But that's a good one. So
yeah,
when I teach it to the kids, it should be more relevant to Venmo stuff that they're,
Well, currency today is crazy because some people consider views currency, followers are currency, right? And it's like, well, I get how you could convert that to a currency. You have an audience that you can show someone else, like, hey, this is how many people, this is how much engagement I have.
Yeah.
Those conversations are happening all the time on these platforms. So I get how a 15-year-old today who's in class right now is watching this when they should be listening to the teacher, they can get some sort of like, I would say, like a compass. Like it's kind of creating
based off of that
is kind of like pushing the needle on people's compass.
Yeah.
So you, in a way, are already doing that. It sounds like, and it's today. Back to our navigation.
Yeah.
But you can't see what's beyond the horizon, right? And you can only do that from consistent action. So we don't know what Brooks's NPO or how is going to be today. But because you've already proven, like, all right, I thought of it, now I'm doing it. That's one paddle, right?
Yeah.
And then you do the next, and then things beyond the horizon become clear. They start popping out. And so I think a huge part of what we're doing collectively, but also like you're you and their business, I mean, like, but the bigger picture that we're kind of leaning into here is we are on the same va'a.
Yeah.
Right. And we're paddling. It sounds like maybe in some situations you paddling that way, you paddling that way. Hey, we got to get in sync.
But really, we try to get to the same place.
But we all headed in this direction that we feel is part of our kuleana. And it's also in a sense that it feels good. I mean, it's fun to meet people, network, talk, build relationships, get out there. And
we're human. We're meant to socialize.
Yeah, we got to. When this guy, do you guys go live?
We haven't.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you pushing.
Well, because then you can get comments, you can talk,
interact.
People call in with this right there, like
interact. Yeah.
So I mean, that's just more again for you. I like how you have your own space, right? A dedicated space.
Well, that's the thing is, it's not mine. It's ours.
Your team can plug in and tap into literally anyone around the world. They can do it live. That's another thing.
It's our team now.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're here.
Hey,
we're all doing it together.
Depot.
That's the whole point. Yeah. Speaking of, so how's the team? So
core team Hawaii, eXp Realty. We're out here doing a lot of videos. Obviously, people they know the YouTube channel. They know Derek and Mahe because they're mostly the agents on camera.
The forefront, yeah.
They're the forefront. So let's put it this way. I don't get stopped in Costco. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those two do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I see them, I might mess around like, are you Mahe?
You know
what I mean? Just to mess it up.
Yeah.
Because,
it's funny because it's real.
It's real. Yeah, like no one knows me. Which, like I told you in our DMs, I'm like, well, yeah, I am, but I'm not like out there. But I'm an agent on the team as the content director.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've built out a similar studio to this. I like your guys's. 3-4 camera setup, same equipment I'm seeing here. Like we've got it. And our goal with that is to go live more often, which we've already been doing. Streaming is a whole different beast.
All right.
So even for me, someone who's like, I've been doing this for 10 plus years. I'm maybe like 6-7 months into streaming. And I'm still learning, right? Every day. The other day I forgot to press record. How about that?
Oh.
On the 810 mini, little SSD they plug in the back. I just forgot to press record. Whole podcast we did. We have the audio from here.
Oh, wow.
The video part is gone. So
it's like forgetting to hit the button on the right spot.
Bro. Oh, lickings.
Oh, I'm hungry.
Mom's told me like, we good.
Oh, bro.
43 minutes. Don't you ever forget to cook? Yeah, that I did the equivalent of not cooking the rice.
Yeah.
But that's just to say, like, I'm still learning.
We make mistakes, and
Yeah.
you can learn. Yeah.
It's the more people you add, the more you scale.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The more you scale, the more you have new sets of problems.
Yeah.
And that is the challenge right now, where it's a fun challenge, right? I
Mhm.
feel drawn to it. How can I stream more? How can I have the live chat when we're YouTube live, and like, how can I display that in the studio in a way that like they don't have to be like this in the video, right?
Yeah.
Little things like that. Again, it's more of the same kind of value we're adding as far as answering questions that people have, because the relocation game to Hawaii is
Like
always happening. So we're just being participants.
Yep.
And we're just trying to increase our overall presence, you could say. But it's the same core, which is core team Hawaii. It's the same core of what we're giving.
Yeah.
And what we found recently is a influx in not just people relocating to Hawaii,
Mhm.
but local people in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It started out more like, obviously, who's Googling what is it like to live in Mililani? It's not somebody who live in Kailua. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although there is overlap. But now with the growth of the YouTube channel, it's got to the point where a lot more of our audience is local people.
Oh.
So we're getting a little bit more on like listings, for example.
Right.
Traditionally, everything's changing. Nothing's
Typically.
right. Typically,
Yeah.
those are for buyer leads, right?
Yeah.
Online, like if you want inbound marketing, it's usually people who want to buy.
Yeah.
Or
we're a small community. Usually, everybody knows a realtor.
Right.
Yeah.
But now it's like to the point where, oh, that's the Hawaii YouTube, Mahe, Derek, whoever, right?
Yeah.
And so because again, just reps.
They're
now
familiar
it's
now.
like, oh, the realtor.
Yeah.
That's the over there filling up gas, whatever. The realtor, and then it just turns into, oh, my auntie is downsizing conversations.
Yeah.
And so
they've become the subject matter expert, and so people are gravitating to them for those answers and that knowledge.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, like I'm like not even 3 years in the game, so to speak. And so because I'm editing hours and hours of footage, I'm listening, I'm there, I'm picking it up too. And it's not like I'll be over there just making sure, oh, this part in the contract. That's not necessarily what I'm doing.
No, but the concepts
But I'm there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me, there's that part of like learning real estate, wealth, financial literacy, all these things we talk about. But being the sort of in between that and then getting it out to everybody 24/7, 365 via online video.
Yeah.
I'm bridging that gap. And
you're also processing it.
I process it.
Yeah.
Both when I'm there in studio and when I'm editing, posting, looking at comments, then bringing that comment back into like, hey, next time, hey, we got like 3 comments last week about this. So there's a direction part of it, like behind the camera, like let's address that comment.
Yeah.
We got it enough times, it's relevant. So it's this like, it's an ecosystem.
It is.
That comes from just continuing to show up and grow, and then having those team members who can actually, at the end of the day, like your video can be great, your channel can be great, you can get all this traction, but you gotta do real estate and you gotta do it good.
You do.
So to have those people like Derek Mahe on the team, shout out to Kenny, just joined Aiden, young boy Aiden. This guy's like young 20s.
Yeah.
And like, I wish I was his age getting into what he's getting into now. To your point of educating the young local people.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, I asked you earlier, if your avatar of a hater was here, what would they say about you? Same thing we always ask ourselves too. It's like, what would they say? Well, we know what they would say because it shows up in the comment section a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And it's like, why you selling the land? Why you selling out? Like, there's a lot of that sentiment.
There is, and there's kind of a contention there. It's hard.
It's hard, but we find that we are helping.
Yep.
Because look at our team. We're all from Hawaii.
Yeah, right.
We all educating ourselves.
Yeah.
We are learning, and we're passing that torch on. Well, not all of us. Most of us have 2 kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is part of this kuleana we spoke of.
Right. That's local people. You're affecting.
It starts with you.
Yeah.
It starts with you. with us, and so because we're participating in this game and learning, and we're all invested into it, it does help the local family stay there. That local
Starting with
happens
your
to be
family.
us.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then my kids, and it spreads that way too.
Organically expressed that way. Now we're talking about the generational, right?
Oh man,
That's passing on the torch.
you know.
So the osmosis for you with your keiki, that's the situation I was in. And again, this isn't that I love everybody, but the ones that need help are here, right? The other ones don't need help in that sense of struggling or poverty or anything like that. We help them with coming up with a solution to them buying the house, getting the loan, right? Now, these are the ones that really need the help because they can't do it for themselves because they don't know any better. So getting you in here like this, and now I'm gonna have to meet Derek because I ain't met him before.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know what I mean? But so that's the evolution of it, and now I'm gonna get you guys to help me too, right? He don't know yet, but yeah. Well, now yeah. So it's just it's snowballing, but it's because it's positive and because it's really for a purpose that's not my own. People are more than willing to jump on. It's like you see somebody with a car that's stalled, and I'm one of those guys that's going to jump on and help push. You know what I mean? That's what we do.
Oh, this H1 westbound in the afternoon.
Oh man,
Brook still help you out.
I'm causing the traffic now. So, where do you see the team? Like, what's the next step? Is there an evolution as far as is it focusing on the live, and then what's after that?
So we've started a content lab,
Okay.
content studio lab, similar to this.
So you're archiving things and like.
Basically, agents can come in and shoot. Agents can come in, shoot their material. In a perfect world, I'll say the perfect world. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
Agent can come in, shoot content. By the time they walk out the door, they got the download link to the raw files, but in like let's say a 24-hour window turnaround or something. Yeah. You could have that all edited, ready to post. So you could have it multi-purpose content like we spoke about. You could have your talk videos for Reels, TikTok, stories. YouTube Shorts. You could have your 60x9 landscape for a YouTube channel if you have one. You could just repurpose the landscape into a tall format, whatever the case, and then you slap on your branding, yeah. Right? So I look at it, talk about keloha, like I look at it like a recipe.
Yeah.
I look at video like a recipe because there's layers, but there's also like your
flavor,
the shoyu, salt, vinegar, like there's the things you don't skip.
Yeah.
And the things you can throw in there. This one has a little bit of spice. This one a little bit less. This is more of a bland thing. This is just this is a sunny side up egg. Very simple. Content can be like that. Yeah. So if you come in, you can walk out with, boom, you got a dozen entree. Oh no, let's say a dozen appetizers. You got 3 entrees though, and you got a couple desserts. And then it's up to you how you want to serve that in your social media, your digital your digital footprint. So you come in, you shoot, you go out, you got all this content there for you. That's what we're currently building, and we're already like beta testing it as a hub to do that in Hawaii, right? Because we're out here, core team Hawaii, EXP Hawaii, but obviously it's a nationwide brand.
Yeah.
Worldwide, excuse me.
Worldwide.
So that obviously opens the door to those kinds of connections.
Yeah.
For me personally, it's a Japanese one. I've been sleeping on my whole like Japanese ability because I spent 8 years there, and I learned, I speak it. I'm functional fluent.
Nice.
I distinguish people like, oh, you're fluent. Well, yeah, because you don't understand the language, so it just sounds good to you.
Yeah.
But I know enough to know where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm functional, right? I still have an accent, but like I can function. I can get around fine. So like the Hawaii-Japan connection. The Hawaii-Japan connection.
Yeah.
Is something personally that I'm looking to do.
Nice. There's a lot of history there too.
Oh, major history. Yeah. I mean,
I grew up in Aiea. I got a perfect view of Pearl Harbor growing up.
My grandma. Biggest regret. One of my biggest regrets from high school is my history class project.
Yeah.
I had this small little tape recorder with a small little tape, and I had a conversation with my grandma about when she witnessed Pearl Harbor, right? And I had that recording, and I never got it. I never got it back. My teacher was super adamant too, like this. Now again, I know
the value of things changes as you get older.
The teacher was like, you're gonna want to keep this, Kenji. Come back and pick it. It was like the final project of the year. Yeah. He was bugging me, get this tape, get this tape. And like the last day of school, after like everyone's yearbooks, all of that, I'm like, oh yeah, I should get the tape. I went back to his room, like no one's there. And I searched. He told me where it was. I'm looking. I couldn't find it. So it's like to this day, every time I look at Pearl Harbor,
that's what you're reminded of.
I think of the oral history that was given to me that I lost. That doesn't exist today.
Two things came up when you told me that story. So one, it reminded me of that post that I just did this morning with the calendar. Through that loss, you gain perspective and a whole level of appreciation.
Bro. Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Another one, sometimes you got to put down the camera. You just said, you remember it, you were there, you heard it. So yeah, if you wanted to play it back and pass it down and refresh your memory, but you've got that euphoric recall of how you feel when she told it to you, and you remember as much as possible.
That is very true. And I think now more than ever, there's a pressure to share everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't have to though.
But it can be toxic.
You don't, in fact, yeah, you get to the point where it's like, yeah, cheesecake is good, but not for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh, not in the morning.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I always go to the cheesecake reference. Like, I like it, but spaced out times. Yeah. And same thing with content. Like, not everything, that's why people didn't even know I was a real estate agent until recently. Like, not everything is.
Now they all gonna know.
Now they know it's out, but like, you know, I was that undercover, you know, undercover in many ways because I like to keep certain things private. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just as intentional as we are about sharing. Yep. We should be intentional about, I would say, keeping or not
withholding.
You know what I mean? The yin and yang of it. So good point on that. Like I do remember sitting at the porch with my grandma where we were, like it was my auntie's house.
Yeah.
In Anaheim. Like I remember that day. Yeah. And I remember thinking, wow, she's not. A thought I had was, this is way better than reading it in a textbook.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we all read it in a textbook growing up, public school, Hawaii, whatever. Yeah. Like Pearl Harbor, we talk about it.
Yeah. Now I think about Ben Affleck.
But it's just,
yeah. Thanks for doing that.
Torah.
Yeah.
Hey, but
yeah, it's
the oral history, things that you have to commit. Not you don't have to, but some things just you don't have a choice, and it just burns itself into who you are. That was definitely one.
That's a good one. And I think so. Back to what you're saying about the intention of what you're using it for. If we continue to use it to connect for the purpose of a cause that's as you know what I mean, meaningful, then it's balanced. Then we're using it right. You know. Now, there's a lot of negative stuff on there. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
let's pump as much positive as we can and try to offset that. And you know, this is our first meeting of many. And I wanna meet your team. I wanna figure out how can I help, and let's figure out if there's something you can help the lower, like can you help me on my journey while I help you on yours?
I think,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was from the jump. We knew that was going to happen. That's how we even met.
That's why we came here, yeah.
So, again, just being aware, like, this is limited time.
Yeah.
Intentional with our moves, how we spend our time, and, like, just do it. Just keep showing up.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. This is pretty awesome. Damn.
Wait, do you have a name for this podcast?
No, not yet. Don't.
Humble hustle.
I don't know.
That kind of stuff, you know.
I feel like it's gonna come. I've been trying to think about it, but like everybody asks me what Vanguard is. You know, it started off as my gamer tag.
Okay.
but then if you look at the definition, what does it mean? right? Vanguard is it in a militant sense. It's the strategic position, the one, the first one that goes in to kind of investigate, kind of like a scout.
Okay.
And then if you look at it on, I don't know what it also means on the forefront of evolution and technology.
Ooh.
So it's kind of like that leading position, cutting edge. And I'm good at transitioning, evolving. Maybe it's a Pisces trait, I don't know, but I'm adaptable. It doesn't matter what class, where, what I mean. What's funny is on my off time, I'm the brownest guy in the crowd. I hang out with a bunch of Hollies. That's a good thing. I like Hollies. My ex-wife was Holly. Yeah. It's so funny. And then I hang out with the local people. I hang out with everybody.
Yeah, that's Hawaii.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the beautiful color palette that we have living here.
Mixed plate.
I love it. It's who we are. I mean, who can you ask? Like, what are you? And not expect 3, 4, 5 things. You know what I mean? Like, what are you? You know?
What are you, by the way?
Black Japanese. That's what I grew up saying.
Right.
Until I took my DNA test.
Oh my God.
Bro,
you gave them your DNA.
I did, which is a whole different rabbit hole we can go in. But I did.
So what did they say you were?
Turns out,
Samoan.
I'm Korean. It said Polynesian.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, maybe my girls can go Kamehameha. No, they can't. You know what I mean? No, they can't.
Well, that's another one. Don't
yeah. Or can that's a whole other rabbit hole. But for real, when I looked at it, I was like, oh, Kamehameha can.
So okay, so you know what you just got right there?
What's that?
Hope.
You think?
You just said, all of a sudden, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want to instill. So these people are seeing the investors, and all of a sudden, I got hope that this blue collar guy is doing it.
Yeah.
This ex-con or whatever, rough life, he's doing it. This mom, single mother, this wife, this kid right out of college.
Yeah.
Everybody has the ability to do it if we show them how.
Just to show, again, that building in public, working in public, which public is just a placeholder for socials. Yeah. But
outside of your circle,
those people sit here.
Yeah.
That is that.
Yeah.
So someone can connect. It was like me and seeing, like, I grew up, so my mom's Japanese, right? Japanese American.
Yeah.
But me and my brother, we look like this. So we grew up with her. But on TV, we'd be watching whatever's like mainland media. So Black, Mexican, Asian, these stereotypes, right? Yeah. We're learning from TV. But when we walk out the house,
go to school,
it's very much not like that.
It's not.
And so at home, it's like Jamie Foxx, Dave Chappelle, Martin Lawrence, these Will Smith, like, that's what a black man in America is.
Yeah.
And I'm a black man in America, but my experience is so much different than that. And so, like,
this is Hawaii, that's why.
And that's why it's so beautiful. I hold on to that. Like, I grew up here in this place where I'm exposed to all of different things that you don't see on TV. Now it's different because you see everything everywhere all at once.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie was fire, by the way. And you see it, you're exposed at least here on screens and stuff. But for us, we had this.
Yeah. And
I think that's already ingrained in who we are.
Where we can, our culture.
So naturally, we want to reach out and connect with those people, having those examples. For me, Eva Beach, Campbell, my era was not necessarily one to be proud of-ish, because there was a lot of, it was a hostage situation. You know what I mean? Like, fights. But though people like my age, there's a lot of people we can point to and say, look, he did it. He's doing it. She's doing it.
But where'd they get that from?
Small business. Yeah. Real estate. Like, we're not the only real estate agents from Campbell, right? No. So shout out to every real estate from Campbell. Real estate agent. Shout out to every small business owner from Campbell. Shout out to every single mother from Campbell. Just having that platform here with those people is that payback, that give. So, like, I'm all with it. I'm sure my team, core team Hawaii, is with it too. And who knows, again, beyond the horizon, how these dots will connect.
Yeah, I mean, we're now individually we're doing our thing and we're helping our people. We're coming together, and it's like I almost relate it to one person tries to buy a house, qualify for, let's just say 400,000. Husband and wife buy a house, they can qualify for 1.2 million. So it's not even just doubling it. There is a compound interest there that is created when we work together. You know, and the more we connect, the more we do, the more we'll help. So, you know, the hope is we can all get together, help each other so that we free up time and energy and resources to help the people that need it, that can't help themselves.
I'm all with you. I'm on board.
Love it. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. All right.
Me. See? Easy, huh?